Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is Game 1 the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play-by-ear match against AsuRob. He's a light commander, and for me it's the Empire of Japan. 8th February 42. I can take one undefended dot base near Tulagi. And he is an American submarine trying to attack Shukaku. 6 torpedoes, luckily no explosion. I'm not even sure if there was a hit, but at least no explosion was hit. I intercept here some AMs east coast of Java. Oh no, they are harbor defense motor launchers, so they are slow and easy picking. West of Surabaya. These are torpedo boats, and they're attacking here my light carrier task force. So I hope that my cover force will shield my carrier. So I use mostly light cruisers to cover carriers, because they don't really have the firepower and structure to go in the direct fight with enemy cruisers. The Japanese light cruisers are a little lightly built, but for carrier escorts I think they are fine. So I can kill one torpedo boat and force the enemy back. Nadi port, there's also an American submarine. And these are the torpedo boats I was not able to completely force to return to Surabaya, so they are reaching my landing task force. I guess that most of my equipment is already unloaded. We'll see how this ends. It could be a little terrible. And there's one torpedo hit on one of my APs. A second torpedo hit. Of course, these APs are simply too slow. This is the best possible target for a torpedo boat, I would say. Heavy, slow APs. And my escorts cannot really stop them all. So the torpedo attack is over, and I was able to sink one of them, but I also lose one AP. Good. More will not happen, so I get 4 torpedo hits. These are smaller torpedoes, so and APs are a little stronger, but the 2 torpedo hits are simply too much. So, yeah. And I sunk 2 torpedo boats. And I lost here a lot of support equipment. But I'm not so sure if this is maybe a bug, because I don't think that this adds up. What I say here is destroyed is not really missing later. I realize this. But at the end, here the report says first a lot of equipment is destroyed, plus more disabled. And one of my light cruisers getting here also a small S-boat torpedo Mark 10 hit. So a very successful day for AsuRob's torpedo force, submarines and surface torpedo boats. But I also crippled this S-35. Maybe it was already damaged, but now it's at least official heavily damaged. Dutch Air Force out of Batavia attacking me at Bendoing, but not really creating too much damage. And there's a enemy task force with carrier support because my search airplane gets killed by Cap. But I cannot find the target. Or at least not all of my torpedo bombers can find the target. Big or weather issues will have impact on my strike. More ground attacks. And this is my carrier strike bus. Again, with I think roughly only half of the torpedo bombers. And there is some Cap. Not sure if my escorts are enough to shield my torpedo bombers. Let's see. Nah, I still lost 5 or 6 torpedo bombers. But Enterprise is here. And Nevada. And I get 1 torpedo hit on Nevada, 2nd torpedo hit. But Fleck is also strong. Nevada get a 3rd hit. So Nevada took and tanked all the torpedoes that the carriers are fine still. Maybe at the end a successful torpedo attack, but the wrong target. But Nevada, I would say, is now crippled somewhere out south of Fiji. Maybe I will try to use submarines to finish off the battleship. So 2 fleet carriers is a little too much for this smaller airstrike. But Nevada is heavily damaged. And this is now the American attack. A lot of dive bombers, but not much escort. So let's see how many I can shut down before they reaching my carriers. Oh yeah, similar I would say. Maybe a 3rd gets destroyed, 2/3 are still attacking. Yeah, but some are carrying only 500-pound bombs, they are not so critical. Target 1 hit, but I think no penetration. Ah, 1,000 pound, second 1,000 pound. Akage looks damaged. Two smaller bombs on an escort carrier. Could be worse. But the American dive bombers focus only on my carriers. My torpedo bombers are split to maybe at the end American victory, I'm not so sure. but I get rid of some dive bombers. No critical damage at least, so only on fire, no heavy damage. But there's more coming, but no escorts, so they're breaking. And I can slaughter them all. Fine. More. 6 pass through. But no hit. And even more. Simply too many airstrikes at the same time, and the cap is now tired. But this time, luckily, it's more attack against my cargo ships. So this air wing chose, I would say, the wrong target. Still, Akage looks like it's a little out of action. And at least temporary, not able to launch carriers more. So they trying to retreat to Nadi. Yeah, this turn have more action. That is good. And for some reason there's a British submarine still and attacking my cargo ships. I hope I can get rid of this one. Again, heavy fire. No, on fire and heavy damage. That sounds not good. But I get at least 4 hits on this submarine, but no heavy damage, so I don't know. Will not be enough to sink it. Good. This is only some small bombardments and picking up dot bases. Here I try to defeat the leftover Port Moresby units. Naja, on the way, sooner or later. Darwin, still bombardments here. Still casualties on my side. Mostly only disabled, but I don't know, I cannot keep this up for long. Suva is also a dead end, at least temporary. No one can take on the enemy. I mean, I cannot defeat the allies, and the allies cannot defeat me, but yeah. So this turn was at the end maybe more a success for the allies. I would still say it could be much more worse. My cap over Nadi was acceptable, successful. And at the end we had heavy air losses for the allies, so nearly 5-to-1 kill ratio, 98-21. I lost, of course, a lot of torpedo bombers, but also search aircraft over the enemy carriers. Plus my escort zeros had a tough time. But for the allies, this was nearly all only dive bombers. So there's a lot of strike aircraft destroyed for the allies. Nearly 100 aircraft. So one carrier lost all of his strike aircraft. So at the end, I lost a good AP. But yeah, it's a good one. And I sunk a lot of support equipment. Nevada is crippled, but there was no sinking sound. But I hope I can get rid of it. But this is also one of the smaller and weaker American old battleships, so with a twin and triple, so 10 barrels in total. So not really high value ships. Still good for bombardments, but not much more. No, not really much more. So out of my 21 lost pilots, I have, yeah, most of them are all dead or missing, but not all. In China, no big change here, nothing to talk. Same with Burma, on hold. I try to build up Port Blair, and once this is done and the operation at I will see if I first take Java and then go for Burma. So there's a British submarine again here, and score the next hit. And the cargo ship is heavily damaged and the fire, but the system damage is still under 50. So I can try to reach Medan, and in Medan I have some equipment and some bigger port. Maybe this one can support, make for the firefighting. And the rest of the Navy Guard, I don't know. Maybe I will call them all back to Medan and first secure the ship. So there's one British submarine here near to Singapore and the second one near to Medan. Okay. I need maybe more anti-submarine equipment. I was able to unload here equipment. Most of the equipment I think is already unloaded, but there's still more. The 16th division is still here at the ships, and you can see that this ship got a torpedo hit, but it looks stable and was empty. This one is similar damage. There is some more support stuff on this ship, but only support. Here was also a torpedo hit, and here is a ton of support equipment. But yeah, you see, it is all 16th division. But here is also 16th division. So the fighting equipment or most of the heavy equipment is still on board or on land already, but support was destroyed. But I have still, I think, 200 support equipment on board, so I would say I lost maybe half my support equipment. Not nice, but could be worse. And I have here more or less, I sense this division in the direction to help here with Darwin. I first route them to Ambon, and then from Ambon I can go for Darwin. I tried still to lure out enemy aircraft to have my transport and amphibious assault groups less likely to be attacked by airstrikes. Could end badly. Buna, I think it's a question of time that I get rid of these units. There was other big battle. Here was a carrier. So there are 2 carriers. No, must be 3 carriers. So 3 American carriers are here, or even 4. I don't know. Normally 1 carrier can handle 90 aircraft, maybe 100 with overload. And I see here 300 at least. So at least 3 carriers must be here. And I don't have so much carrier capacity here. I have here also 2 carriers. But Akage is now really out of action. You can see it's now red. Means there cannot be any flight operation. This, I think, because there's fire maybe. Kaga only took 500 pound bombs, and that is fine. But I cannot fight these allies here. Luckily I had an airfield, so I was able to route all my aircraft to the airfield. But I have to maybe withdraw. I have 1 more carrier, Shukaku is coming. Was nearly torpedoed, but it's fine, and this is full ready. But more than defense, I think I cannot play here. I am not so sure. I will use my submarines to maybe get a lucky hit on the enemy carriers or battleships and maybe finish off Nevada. But I think it is time to retreat first. I was at the end able to unload my 2 attack divisions, or assault divisions, And this isn't enough reinforcements to hold Nadi plus Suva, I would say. The allies are not strong enough to kick me out. I'm not strong enough to kick them out, so it's okay. I will come back if I have more equipment ready to support this area. Good, see you next time. Take care, bye-bye.